Hello, I'm not Brad Fallon, and I'm not here to sell you uQast. But some people have asked me why, with almost 1,000 websites and endless Web 2 properties, why I have chosen to invest in uQast nevertheless. And the answer is quite simple. But first of all, to answer that, really we need to understand what actually uQast is, which isn't a very straightforward answer. If you go to their website and you do learn more, you can see all kinds of stuff, and they mention all of these things. And then if you scroll over, you can see that they mention all of these things. So basically uQast can be a lot of things to different people, which is its power and its weakness. So how can we narrow this down? Well, this page actually sums it up pretty nicely. It's uQast, and it's the search engine for uQast. And to me, in a lot of ways, that's what uQast is. It's a search engine for a particular group of people, who already know what they want. And instead of using something like Google or Bing to find some random selection of things that are common denominator, generically popular, and particularly overwhelmed with current events and news and the latest fads. uQast is basically a community, a collection of publishers and experts and enthusiasts and people with experience and views who have all got together in one place. Now that's not a new concept. There's 1,001 web properties that do that. Skidoo, Hub Pages, Condio, all sorts of other ones for specifically for business applications. I mean, LinkedIn is one of them, but there's probably 1,000 for every single niche that you can think of, where there are these little mini communities. Even forums in their own way are kind of the slightly older than Web 2 community, but nonetheless they basically still have that role. The thing that makes most things Web 2 is the digital interactive media kind of element to them. And of course that's what another thing that uQast brings to the table. It brings very easy video and audio and document sharing and broadcasting, which is the clue in the name, uQast, as in broadcast, or that's how I interpret it anyway. So, but primarily it's a kind of search engine. And why would that matter? Why do we need another search engine, even if it is for a community of communities of experts? Well, the first thing is if I go to which one should I do? Let's just do this one. Okay, this is going to be a slightly strange experiment for you. So if I type in gun traffic, now this isn't really a keyword, and it's not a monetizable keyword, and it's not even a real topic, to be honest. But if I type in gun topic, what is it that Google thinks that I want? Well, to start with, it thinks that there are 47 million other people talking about gun traffic, even though we don't even know what gun traffic is. I mean, gun trafficking is the thing that springs to my mind, but it's probably not about that. Anyway, it's come up with YouTube videos. The BBC News, who probably are talking about guns. I don't know where the traffic bit comes in. There's some actual gun trafficking going on there, so there we go. There's some images which I can't believe would be actually about gun traffic, and so forth, and some forums, and a TV kind of documentary thing or something, some articles, some music, probably from a band called Gun Traffic, or with a song called Gun Traffic or something, etc, etc, etc. So I don't know what I was, what my intention when I typed in this word was anyway, but whatever it was, I'm not sure that that I found it. And that's the general Google search. Obviously, we can look for images specifically, video specifically, news stories specifically, shopping specifically. That would be interesting. Let's have a quick look at that one. What gun traffic can we buy today? That would be very interesting, wouldn't it? Let's just see what Google comes up with there. Here it comes. I don't know why it's been quite. There we go. Okay, so I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a baton. A traffic baton? Okay, anyway, whatever that is. Radar guns, yeah, okay, so that's to do with traffic rather than gun traffic or guns, so yeah, okay, so there are some other things that go to come up with: paint guns, airsoft guns, gun scopes and sights, so forth, so on. We can also look at books on it, places about it, blogs, real-time discussion on Twitter about it. That would be interesting. There shouldn't be any, obviously, you'd imagine. So this is Twitter and Facebook, basically. Yeah, somebody's talking about guns and traffic. Okay. Wow. Okay. How many searches were there? Sorry, I couldn't see how many results there were then. I still can't see. But anyway, there's even some news going on there. And yeah. So some stuff coming up there. Again, I'm not sure what my intention was, but I don't, not sure Google have fulfilled it. Our discussions is basically forums. So there might be some forums about that. Actually, it looks very much like the news we had on the first page. But anyway, so there we go. Anyway, so that's typically what people would do if they're interested in a topic. They might use Google search, and this is the kind of results they'd be presented with to make a choice from. Obviously, they can delve deeper, refine their search until they actually get what they're looking for. Click on a link, click on an advert, eventually get there. I notice there's no adverts for it, so obviously it's really not monetizable, which is interesting. Okay, so that's that. So now let's go to uQast. Let's say somehow I know that uQast is what I want, and I type in gun traffic. Let's see if uQast know anything about gun traffic. So my internet's just slow because I'm doing the web capture. Okay, let's see what uQast know about that. Okay, and they know quite a lot apparently. 15 results. Okay, so obviously they've got some things about traffic. Mainly their topic is traffic, but the number one result is this, which strangely actually is me, which is why I started to search for it, to see what my presence was going to be on uQast. So we can see that if they can get to uQast, they can find my keywords and read about my gun traffic product, which is actually gun pressure traffic. So maybe I should have done that, but anyway, I did gun traffic because it has other meanings as well, I guess. If we look at so if they get to uQast, they can find my content because I'm one of the publishers on it, and I've got tags and I'm in the search engine, and people can vote on my content and get me up higher, and people can view my content and get me up higher, and so forth, because the whole kind of voting structure of uQast itself is based on user interaction, not publishers say so or publishers spending power or anything like that. It's totally based on viewers interaction. So the only really way to get popular is to be popular, which is the same old classic problem of any promotion, but at least it's going to be more to the point than what we saw with Google. Anyway, so if they get to uQast, they can find my stuff. So that's what we would hope. So the question is, how would they get to uQast to even know that? Well, typically with any site like uQast that congregates information in one place, they tend to become very popular. If you think of Squidoo and Hub Pages and all those other places, and YouTube even, just because there's such a mass of content there, Google tend to end up having to go there and scan them and look at it and see what's new, very often, because there's always so much new stuff there. And already we can see, only like, I don't know what it is, like 6 weeks into the launch or something, uQast has already got 6,000 pages indexed. Okay, that's 6,000 pages more than I've got indexed on a new site. So if I put a page on uQast, then obviously I can ride on the back of the popularity of uQast, which is basically the whole point of any Web 2 property like that, in that way. So there we go. So that's basically how people would find uQast, because we can see that the uQast content will get indexed eventually, and then people will end up on uQast, and then if they get to uQast, they can use uQast search and all the other links, and other uQast publishers can recommend it, or viewers can recommend it if they think it's worth it, and that will make it more popular on uQast itself. Okay, now here's another interesting thing. This is a slightly strange demonstration, but actually I'll just do it in quotes anyway. I'm actually specifically asking Google if they found my particular tag there, and the answer, strangely, and you may be surprised that I'm using this as the demonstration, but the demonstration is no. Okay, but that's fair enough, because the site's only 6 weeks old, and that particular page is only probably a week old or something like that. So it's not there. So I'm not disappointed about that, because it will be at some point. But now let's look at something a bit more generic, like traffic. And now we can see that indeed Google absolutely know of 937 results on uQast with the word traffic. Okay, now if I'm one of them, then I'm going to appear in this result. But that's 937 pages indexed by Google, compared to no pages indexed if I had a new site with that on. So again, I can ride on the back of uQast's content aggregation, making them popular. The other thing to note is that actually what it's picking up is the tags. Okay, not a great surprise there. It's very much like blogging and WordPress blogging and all that. It's the tags that Google are picking up, because the tags happen much more often than any kind of category or page title link or anything like that. So they're nearly all tags. Some of them aren't, but nearly every one of the things that Google's picked up is a tag. Okay, so all we need to do to become indexed on Google via uQast is to add the appropriate tags. That's fantastic. Okay, so how would we do if we weren't using uQast? Well, I can put in gun traffic, and I'm probably nowhere to be seen, I would imagine, if I had a web page there, so that's fine. Still my uQast page isn't showing up here either, but as I say, that's just because it's early days. But basically the point would be that eventually it would be, because I'd be riding on the back of uQast, and that's why I'm using uQast, because basically it's going to do several things. One is it gives me a platform to publish things easily. I can include video, audio, and documents and software downloads and stuff like that. In terms of the uQast player, people can interact, they can share it, they can bookmark it, they can give me a tip. I don't know how likely that is, and if there is something to buy, then they can buy it, and if they want to, they can share it. If you allow it as a publisher, they can share it from their own site, so they could embed your thing on their blog and talk about it and add value to your content via their system. Obviously people can vote on it. There's a general rank, there's how many tips you've had generally. You can see the views. If it's inappropriate, people can flag it, so we can get rid of spam and porn and all that kind of stuff. And people can even review it. I didn't even notice that. So again, we can get lots of interaction going on there. And the whole thing's got a uniform look, which means that people can find things easily. They want the video, it's always going to be here, right in the top left. They're not going to have to hunt for it at all. So one is, it gives us the platform to do that. Secondly, is, you know, as I said, basically, you know, the main thing about uQast, so let me just go back there, is that it is basically its own little search engine, but it's a search engine of, you know, a group of expert rich media content in one place, aimed at people who know what they want, which basically means that, you know, that they're people who want that information, and they're not going to have to be, you know, wade through endless rubbish that Google has come up with. What did that show it there? With all these results, you know, where Google doesn't really know what we want at all. So basically, the whole point of uQast for me is it's the place where people will go, or can become the place where people will go, where they will, you know, be able to find what they want quickly. Okay, so that's basically, you know, what we want to happen, and that is what happens. And we've seen, there we are, there's my page, and we've seen that, you know, in terms of what Google's doing, Google are noticing it. 6,000 pages already within, you know, 6 weeks. Google are actually looking at the content there, they're looking at the tags. 937 results for the word traffic on the uQast site alone, which, and much more focused results than what Google themselves have managed to come up with, you know, doing anything else. And that's really the point. So that's why I chose uQast, because I believe it will become one of the prime properties where, you know, quality content is aggregated. I can ride on the success of uQast's ability to manage that and bring that together, and all the other experts that are there to do it. I get an easy way to publish my rich media content, and I haven't even mentioned about the e-commerce platform that they provide built in, which means that you can sell, you know, the content very easily, which is another, you know, normal headache for people to you know, to overcome. So that was free, so that's why it's not in there, because it's free. There we go. So that's why I've chosen to invest in uQast, because basically, you know, I'm going where the people who want stuff are going. Whereas when you do things like organic search, you're hoping to pick people up who are looking for things, often looking for things where they don't know what it is, or why it is, or what they want, and they're certainly not looking normally to buy something. Whereas with uQast, they're definitely going to be having some sort of problem that they want fixed, so the chances of them wanting to invest further in that, you know, with an actual purchase for, you know, in-depth content is, in my opinion, a lot higher. It doesn't mean that I'm going to abandon organic search, of course, but it does mean that uQast gives me a major leverage of what I do, as well as all the other things like the platform to publish it with. So that's it. That's why I've invested in uQast. You have a think about where it fits in your business. Talk to you then. Bye bye.